everybody, what's going on? This is Corey Spielberg, and we have another special episode of BergTv today. We have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, and why you love to do it?
What's up, everybody? This is Ms.incharge. I am Loose Kannon Takeoff's manager. I also manage One La Jean Mouth. I am Trinity and New Money Breeze. So I'm doing artist management, and I do it because I love music.
I would say, if you don't love music, you probably shouldn't be doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
How long have you been doing the music thing? I know we talked about it off camera, but we can kind of get into it a little bit here.
About 20 years.
20 years total music and...
Total music and artist management.
Artist management total, okay. So how did you get into getting hooked up with, you know, we can start off with Loose Kannon and kind of go down the line. You know, how did you meet your artists? And how did you say, hey, you know, what can I do for you? How was that conversation? So say I'm an artist. What do you say to me if I'm an artist?
I'm not taking any new artists. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Well, thank you for your time. I'll just go away now. I'll just go away.
I'm just joking. Okay, so how I met Loose Kannon Takeoff was I met him at Dogman Studio prior to me managing him.
Gotcha.
So how I actually got a chance to team up with him and work with him was my partner, who also manages him, who owns Intervision TV, Snoop, hit me up.
So he hit you up 2 years ago?
He hit me up 2 years ago to talk to me about doing some PR with them, public relations, just so that everybody knows. And so that's how it really started. So I just worked PR for a while. My first year with him, he released a project. That was my first year working with him. And then after that, last year, he started his own label, Loose Kannon Music.
Yep.
So the other artists are on Loose Kannon Music. So that's how I ended up working. That's how I work with those artists.
So the other artists came with him, essentially.
Correct. Those are his artists.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the projects and stuff that you just rolled out. What did you guys just roll out? That's on right now, on and popping. Everybody's talking about it.
So the latest project we just rolled out was November 2021. On Thanksgiving, we dropped Up Now, Fuck Next. And that's the project we rolled out in November. But since the beginning of the year, we've just been releasing, the projects that we've been releasing are from that, the videos, I'm sorry, that we've been releasing is from that project. And so now we're just releasing singles.
Gotcha. So you just released that project, and so what are some of the major features? I know we just watched the newest video that you put out. How did that feature come about, and why does it work so well for you guys to do it that way?
Well, honestly, how it works for us is he really puts together how he wants to release his projects.
Gotcha.
We do have a team, but the main person who's behind how we release and when we release and what we're going to release, he is in full control of that.
Gotcha.
So he put together, because he has such a big catalog of music, he really chose the songs that he wants on that project. So then from there, you know, it goes on a project, and then, you know, start doing the videos, and we put them out. But the most recent project that he just dropped was with Glock 9. How that came about, he has he has relationships with a lot of artists, you know,
right.
So he makes those connections as far as the features. Artists may reach out to him or vice versa. Mainly the artist reaches out to him.
Gotcha.
As far as the features.
So one thing I will say about him, so, you know, starting this podcast and stuff that I've been doing, and, you know, I reached out to the more major artists in our city, in Orlando, and whether you like it or not, he is a major artist in the city.
Right.
So I reached out to him, a couple other people, and let me tell you, responses that I got were so different, it would blow your mind. Let's just say he was the nicest, most respectful person
most definitely
that got back to me,
Most definitely.
And I was out around the town, and I'm telling people this every time his name comes up. I'm like, yo, by the way, I've never met him yet, but he's super nice and super respectful. And the girls at this modeling agency, the Lux Models, the owner, she goes, he's the nicest dude you'll ever meet. And I was just so surprised, because I've never met him in person. All I see is what I see on YouTube, what I see on Instagram,
right.
the rapping, the videos. I'm like, damn, he must, I got to be okay when you talk to him. But I mean, he's very respectful and friendly. And I guess that's the word around the city, is that's who he is.
That's who he is.
And I didn't know that until you start talking to people.
Right.
So to figure out that's who somebody is,
right.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
I trust me, I understand what you're saying. I hear it a lot. So it's like what you're saying, I hear a lot. Most times I've had some people think that he's kind of, not approachable.
Right. I've heard that.
People assume that he's not approachable, but he's such a nice person.
So yeah, this is one thing I wanted to say. So, do you find all your other artists that you work with, are they that same type of way when it comes to doing business and being, because I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of artists, and boy, if they don't come at you like, man, blah, 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 or they just leave you on red, or, you know what I mean? You got a lot of tough people you deal with in the industry still, or you get more nice than you do bad?
Well, the thing is that I really don't deal with other artists as far as managing wise, or having to have that, I guess, that interaction.
Right.
So I don't experience that. What I can say is that everything that you said, I can definitely vouch for that. He's the most humble, respectful guy I've worked with. As far as major artists that I've worked with on the promoting side, totally different person. Totally different person.
Gotcha.
So it's like, and I've built a relationship, with him versus just doing a project and then going away type thing. So it's more a relationship. It was like a tight family.
Right. And honestly, I believe that's what you want, rather than it all can't be so stiff all the time. Then
right.
You don't want to be around that.
No.
So if it's okay, let's get into some of your managerial type of duties, I would say. What do you really excel in? And, so what do you do? What do you put together? What is a manager of a major artist in Orlando? What is your day like?
That's hard.
Okay. I know, put you a little on the spot, make you think a little bit.
It's hard because here's the thing. Everybody manages different. And it depends on the artist that you are working with. It's going to be your duties, and what your artist require is different.
Right.
Like I said, he controls a lot of things. And so it's like we all do a lot. But most of the like I said, the work he does, he's the artist, so the major part of the work comes from him. So on a daily, it's dealing with DJs, radio, working the projects, making sure you have all of the paperwork done that's behind the scenes on the business side of it, as far as the beats. Making sure everything is ready and prepared to go through BMI uploads. It's a lot. So
you handle all that back end, is all you?
Well, it's not all me, but as far as making sure it's together and ready to go. So though, yeah. Okay.
So I heard you mention DJs in there. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just how I feel. I feel like nowadays a lot of newer generation artists, people who aren't really up there in age, they don't believe in DJs no more. They don't believe in a local DJ. They don't say, I go, hey, you should probably pay that DJ to run your shit every once in a while. Just pay him up. And they go, I don't need that. I can do it on the internet.
Nope.
So how do you feel about the DJ thing?
I think that is the worst thing an artist can do, is think they don't need a DJ. The DJ it plays a very important role in the city.
Yep.
As far as the music industry goes, the DJ is a very important person, and you definitely need to pay the DJ.
Right.
And a lot of artists don't understand that DJs are busy, like, and can't pull up YouTube links. So a lot of artists don't understand the importance of having music on a flash drive or USB, whatever it is.
To give to the DJ.
Correct, to give to the DJ. And also, the worst thing an artist can do is not establish any type of relationship or communication with a DJ prior to popping up to a club asking a DJ to play some music.
Okay, so that's where Instagram can come in. Find a local DJ, say, hey, by the way, I know you're going to be here tonight. You mind if I pay you to play my song? They're going to be like, yeah, pull up. Hey. A lot of times, DJs say yes.
Right.
They just don't, people don't understand. If you say, yo, will you slide my record for $50 to $100, depending on who the DJ is?
Right.
They're not going to tell you no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I have, it's just, I know it's ingrained in a lot of people's heads. I don't need a DJ. And I feel like that's wrong. That you need a DJ.
You do.
So I was just trying to confirm or deny with you, like, how do you feel about DJs? So if you really think they're still important, I mean, that's just what
DJs are important.
So, even we got connected with a DJ, and this is another thing that I wanted to ask, because I heard this in an old DJ Khaled interview so many years ago. He said, if you want a record to break, you want to do it in a strip club. And I thought that was an interesting thing, and it never left the back of my mind. He said, you get a DJ who goes to a strip club, and that's where you can most likely get a record breaking, because if girls hear a song and it gets them paid while your song is on, they'll keep requesting your song.
That's right.
Now, is that true? Do you find, doing shows at strip clubs and stuff like that? Do you guys do that stuff? And
yes, I think it's true, because it's true. Once you get a dancer who can make money from your song, if it gets, them throwing money, why not?
Right. So I thought that was an interesting thing that was said.
It is.
And it never left the back of my mind. I said, really, strip club, strip club, strip club. So speaking of show life and stuff, what does show life look for you guys? Do you know if you're gonna set a certain amount every year? Do you try to go bigger every year? What does show management look like?
Every year, every year, every day, every week, and every hour is always to go bigger.
Okay, that was the best answer.
It's always to go bigger.
Right.
Always.
Another thing I wanted to ask, clubs downtown, right? So you got your clubs everywhere. How important is it, if you could give tips to people to try to get into some of these clubs and try to run a club rotation? Do you guys run club rotations? Is this something that you think you got to do or try to set up? I'm just curious to think of, how do you guys consistently see yourself progressing?
Well, we see ourselves consistently progressing every day. Our main focus right now is not to just penetrate on Central Florida or just the downtown area. So we're expanding outside at this point.
I think him in particular, he's past Orlando right now.
Right.
He's got to be,
right.
We're done with that, right?
Right. So, and that's just where it comes in stages for artists. Once you have your city, there's no need to continue to try to penetrate in your city. Right. You have to step outside the city, because there's millions of other people outside the city who either haven't heard your music or have heard your music, but you haven't had a performance to where they can actually come in and see you perform.
That's a great thing to say, because I know there's a lot of artists that I won't say, but they were big in Orlando for a while, and then they just never did anything. You can blow up, you blow up locally, and then you just never do anything. So how are you guys expanding out? What does that process look like? Without going into too much detail, what is, just maybe hint on some things.
It's coming.
Right.
It's coming. We are expanding always outside of Central Florida. We've been to other states as far as performance wise. Atlanta, Mississippi, even North or South Carolina. We've been. So it's
Does a lot of love get shown out there when you guys
absolutely,
go?
absolutely.
So what's it like trying to say, hey, all right, I'm going to take my Orlando artist to Atlanta? You know, was there a barrier to entry when you try to leave your city into a new city for an artist? Is there an entry barrier?
It's always going to be an entry barrier at some degree outside, because it's almost like leaving the United States and going to a foreign country. Nobody knows who you are, and you have to become familiar with the surroundings, or you have to meet people to kind of.
So is there promo that goes into that,
Yes,
like a long time before you get there?
Yes. So mainly whenever we have performances in other states or other cities, normally we're either there the day before to do promo, or when we're there earlier throughout that day, we do promo.
So, okay, there's two things I want to expound upon: branding and promo. So we'll talk about promo right now because we're on that topic. How important to you do you think? So we're starting to get into this promo life ourselves, right? So I noticed we're doing a lot of stuff on Instagram, throwing stuff out. But I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to print out flyers. I want to print out flyers and go hand them out.
You do.
But I haven't seen somebody hand me a flyer in forever. So I'm thinking, is that a lost? Is that a lost way? And should it be a lost way?
It's definitely not a lost way. I think it's still important, very important for flyers. And the reason why people may have not given you a flyer is because you probably haven't been in the places where flyers are penetrated in. Mainly you'll see flyers in the inner cities.
Right.
And if you see flyers like in areas like around here, you're going to see them more in like convenience stores, urban stores.
We've definitely seen them there.
Gas stations. Right. So
it's just I guess it's just been a while since, I've been out, because I want to say maybe even as close as like 5 years ago, if you were out downtown and you were leaving the club, there was a flyer in my hand. Almost every time I left the club, there was a flyer in my hand. But now I notice I leave clubs and there's nothing in my hands. But what I do notice is I'll get nudged and I'll get handed a business card now. So I think that's a new way people started switching to business cards now as a, sort of a lower medium. But I always felt like when I got handed a flyer, I remembered that thing. I remembered that event. I got to read it. It was physical. And I would, even if I threw the flyer out, I would remember, what was I going to do? What was I going to do? I got a flyer for this, and it would cause me to look it up. Right. And then I would end up going. But if I didn't have that flyer in my hand, I would have never remembered.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why flyers are so important.
Right.
They're still important.
Okay. So I was like, man, I'm the only one. But I woke up this morning, I was like, I want a flyer. I remember getting flyers, and every time I got a flyer, even though I threw it away, it would cause me to go out and search for what I was wanting to do that night.
Right. But you need flyers.
Right.
They're important.
Well, you heard it here, people. Flyers are the key still.
Listen.
You got some right now?
I'm going to give you a flyer.
Okay. Look at that. Okay, I just got a flyer. The Easter Bash flyer.
That's right. You said you haven't had a flyer, so I want to make sure I give you a flyer.
And you gave me a flyer, and this is a nice flyer.
That's right.
So this is about the Easter Bash and everything?
It is.
That's awesome. So yeah, see, if you get one of these, and a lot of times people put them in their back pockets, even if you wash your clothes, you take them out, like, oh, I got a flyer. Oh shit, This is that event.
That's right.
I'm gonna cherish this flyer.
All right, cherish the flyer.
So I guess kind of maybe one of the last things we can talk about before we start wrapping up is branding. And branding, I especially notice with Loose Kannon, he's got the LKM, right? So he's got a big chain with it. He's got a nice logo. He puts it on shirts. I see people around with the shirts. How do you guys go about the branding? What do you, when you say, I'm trying to word this the right way because I know how important it is, and I see you guys really have it on lock. It's on everything. You can't get away from it.
You cannot.
Right. So
It's
how
everywhere.
important is branding and connecting to you as an artist and, them and what they're doing?
Branding is important whether you're an artist or a business owner. Your logo is you.
Right.
So in order to get people to really draw people to you is your logo. So when you see the LKM, everybody knows that's Loose Kannon.
Right.
So whether it's on a T-shirt, and really and truly, he's been branding since I've been with him. So it's promo T-shirts with the
Right.
Loose Kannon. So
Right.
at events or when marketing, you give out T-shirts.
Is he just giving these away for free? Just trying to get
T-shirts?
yeah.
Yes, he's been giving away shirts since I've been working with him, and he's probably been. I'm sure he was doing it before I started working with him, but shirts, something somebody will remember. Like you said, when you see it, you know it's Loose Kannon. It's
Yeah.
on the Sprinter. I mean, his entire face and the logo is on the back of the Sprinter. So wherever it's at, people know, okay, that's the brand. So the more you wear it, the more people see it, the more it's out there and distributed, the more people see it. So
Right.
branding
Yeah.
is important. It's just like that flyer.
This flyer is important.
It's important.
That's why every time I do a show, I'm in my BergTv.
That's right.
Or if I'm out somewhere, if I'm out at a nightclub, I'm wearing my CS Film shirt right there that he's got on. Mm-hmm. Or I'm wearing this. I don't wear normal clothes anymore because I want people to, when they see that, they know, oh, that's Corey.
Right.
Or they see this, oh, that's Corey.
Right.
But I know the LKM is so branded in my mind. I've seen it for years at this point, literally
Right.
years. And I know that's him.
That's right.
And so I see something, oh, he must have been there, or oh, that's his shirt. And a lot of people don't realize how important, get a logo, make it you, represent you, and then ride with that because it's going to help you be recognizable.
Exactly. And that is so true.
I think a biggest part of him and what you guys going on is that LKM. I see it everywhere.
You see it everywhere. You can't go anywhere and you don't see the LKM.
That's right, especially here. So that's just another thing I wanted to, ask, logos, branding, that stuff is very important, but
It is.
what do you think it is with people nowadays? You think the internet has changed people where they can be kind of lazy? They think the internet's just going to do it for them?
I think so. I think the internet has made a lot of people comfortable with thinking that marketing stops right there on the internet, and they don't understand how important marketing is beyond the internet.
Right.
Because there's still people who are not social media junkies who aren't on social media a lot. So they don't. So whatever you're marketing isn't always seen on social media. So you have to remember, people do drive. People go inside stores, so you still need to market. Like, street marketing is still important.
Yeah, I feel like street marketing shouldn't be dead. I feel like radio spots shouldn't be dead.
Absolutely not.
I feel like even if you can get a billboard, that shouldn't be dead either. Like you said, you go to I-4. I-4 is one of the most traveled highways anywhere. If you put your face there, people are going to see it.
Yep.
So I feel like a lot of quote unquote guerrilla marketing has died off, or people don't believe in it because they think the internet will solve their problems.
It's not dead. I just think people don't believe in it because they feel like the internet is going to do whatever it is they want it to do for marketing. And
I think the internet has a touch. I do. I think it goes a long way. It's definitely not everything.
No,
but people think it's everything.
They do.
So, I'm kind of glad we're on the same page because I'm like, okay, so because you're wiser than me. You know, this is what you do for a living. You know these things and all these things that I thought I knew, and we discussed, and you're proven it works. All of these things. So when you say something, people, they should listen and go, okay, let me take this in. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me and giving me your time. I know you said you're maxed out, busy, so I'm just like, oh, okay, good. I'm glad we got to have her on. So it's a
pleasure.
No, hey. Is there anything you want to wrap up or say, or any 2 words of advice or something you want to end off the time with?
Words of advice as far as?
Let's say words of advice as far as, a young artist who's by themselves.
Words of advice to a young artist who's by themselves is to stay consistent and branding is important, and invest in in yourself. You are your biggest investment. So that's what I would say. Stay consistent and don't give up.
Don't
Just
give
don't
up.
give up. Don't give up.
I mean, hey, people go for years
That's right.
until they make it.
That's right.
But when you do make it, it's gonna be like, oh, amazing.
The payoff is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, everybody. This has been another episode of BergTv. Go ahead. Oh, your Instagram and everything is going to be out there. But if you want to shout it out and shout out anything else, I'll put on text on the screen right now.
Okay. My Instagram is Ms.incharge. It's ms.incharge. Always and forever is shout out to Loose Kannon Music, biggest boss in the city, Loose Kannon Takeoff. I salute my entire team, Intervision TV, All in One ENT. We the best. We're the new We the best.
The new We the best. And on that point, everybody, we'll leave it off. Thank you so much for watching.
All right.